Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to pop on real quick and just introduce this video. I have a huge mess to clean up in the kitchen. I was working on dishes. You can see the dishwasher open. I've got to clean up the dining room table. So I've got lots to do today. But I wanted to jump on real quick. So if you guys have watched the last couple of, probably one video, you know that Bryant had an accident on Saturday morning, a very bad accident in one of our farm vehicles. He actually overturned, and him and Daniel were both in the truck. Daniel was injured, but no broken bones. He dislocated his shoulder. He is super duper, this is Daniel I'm referring to, he is super sore and feels like he's been in a wreck. Which he has, but other than that, he is doing well. The other gentleman in the accident, he was fine from the scene. He was, I don't think, injured at all physically. Bryant has a few bruises, bumps, but he's a tough old bird. And he just don't slow down for nothing. So I tried my best to get him to rest yesterday and take it easy, but nah, he preached Sunday morning, and even Daniel was at church. So, and Daniel, I guess, sustained the most of the injuries, but thank goodness there was no internal injuries on either one. There was no broken bones, which we thought Daniel's arm was broken, but it was just a dislocated shoulder, and they maneuvered it back in. I went to the hospital and sat with him, and he was a trooper. Him and Bryant both are. And so anyway, thank you guys so much for your prayers. I wanted to give you just a quick update. Bryant's at the farm working right now. In fact, when he finishes with the chickens, he's going to be going back to the accident scene, and they're going to be getting up the 9 tons of chicken litter that was dumped on the ground there. So he's going back over there to clean that up when he's finished working the chickens. So, all right, I just wanted to give you an update. It's day 2 post-wreck, and he's doing great. Daniel's recovering well, and the other gentleman was not injured. So, now it's just all the other stuff that comes with when you have an accident. So, but thank you guys for your prayers. Thank you for asking how they are. They're doing great. We're still saying it was an absolute miracle that there was no injuries, more than what there were. That, you know, there was just, it is absolutely God's hand was in that situation, and we give him all the glory. So, we are actually, this video was actually filmed prior to, or the video you're fixing to watch was actually filmed prior to the wreck. So it was Friday night, I believe, that we filmed this. This was Jessica's request for what's for dinner, and it was broccoli and cheese soup, and we also did some pumpkin carving afterwards. So I'm just, without further ado, we're going to get right into that video. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'll come back and say goodbye before we end it. Hey everyone, welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, I am up and I'm dressed. Not quite finished getting ready, but I wanted to go ahead and do some prep work. We do have a funeral today, and so I wanted to get some of my prep work over ahead of time. So that's what I'm going to do. Hey, listen, if you're new here, my name's Leslie. You are in my kitchen down on the farm, and I'm thrilled to have you here. Tonight is a family night, and it's also a soup night, which my last video was actually a soup night. And this is also a soup I have done on my channel many times, but we're doing it again because it's what we're having for supper. Hey, and there's new people here, and they want to see it. And like I said, I do things a little different each and every time, so you know, you might pick up something one way that you like it different. So, anyway, with that being said, since I'm going to be gone throughout the day, off and on, I want to get some prep work done. I want to get some things measured out. I want to get some onions and celery chopped up and sauteed. And that way I'll kind of have a head start when I get home and have to put everything into high gear. So that being said, I'm going to grab an onion. I'm going to wash up some celery. I'll meet you back right here. All right, let's get to chopping. I've got an onion here. I've peeled most of it, and I aim towards the center of the onion. And when I get to the center, I'm straight down, and then when I go the other way, I aim towards the center. When you do it that way, you don't have to do these cross cuts. You know, like I used to hold my hand here and do these cross cuts. When you aim towards the center, wherever you're cutting from, you don't have to do that, and it chops up beautifully. And then when I get to this end part, I just chop it so I don't miss any of the goodness. And see, it just chops up into beautiful little pieces. And so I'm actually going to do a whole onion. So we'll do the other half. Now the way that works is if you cut it from top to root. So you're going to be actually cutting your root in half and your top in half. And that's how that works. And then you aim towards the center of the onion. And by the time you get to the top, you're straight down. And then you start aiming in the other direction towards the center of the onion. And you don't have to do the cross cuts that way. Isn't that cool? All right, so let's get a little olive oil in a pot, and then we'll come back and peel the celery. I have my gorgeous pearl white Dutch oven here, and I'm just going to put a little olive oil in the bottom there, and then we'll go ahead and I'll just go ahead and put these onions right in there. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this celery and get it in there. And I kind of just barely snip the tip, and then I take off any strings, and I do the same at the bottom. I just kind of get it started, pull it back, pull off any strings that come off. And I like my celery chopped finely. And so I'll probably do mine a little finer than, I guess, what you would say normal people would do. But that's just because I don't like to bite. I like the flavor celery gives, so I just don't like to bite into a big piece of celery in soup. Now, I like to eat raw celery. It's fine. And so I'll probably cut this piece into 3 sections. And it's okay if some pieces are bigger than others. My knife skills are not the best, but hey, it gets the job done, right? I haven't conquered the rocking motion yet. I keep trying. And I got my fingers curled back, so I know how to be safe with a knife. I just, and then, just in case there's some big pieces, I'll kind of chop through there. All right, I'm going to finish that so you don't have to watch that painful situation again. And we'll do the other 2 stalks of celery, and we'll get this on and get it sauteed. And that way, that'll be done. So when I get home from the funeral, all I have to do is the rest of the soup. So, all right, I'll see you back in just a little bit. I actually got pretty good by the 3rd celery stalk, so I think I've mastered it now. So I'll have to show you that on the next one. But yeah, I always try to play around with the knife, trying to look professional. But as long as I get the job done, it doesn't matter if I look professional or not. As long as it gets done, and there you go. I can show you how to cut an onion. Don't ask me how to cut a stalk of celery. So anyway, let's get this on to saute. Okay, it's over here. We're going to turn the burner on. And we're going to just get this sauteing up just till it's nice and translucent. And sometimes I take the onion and celery out of here once it sautés. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that today or not. We may just leave it in here and make our roux with the onions and celery. But the first thing we got to do is saute it, get it nice and soft and translucent. And then we'll kind of be halfway prepared, or not halfway, but a good start prepared for this soup making. So there's one thing that I cannot make this soup unless I plan to also make my crusty bread. I mean, you cannot have this, you can have the crusty bread without the soup, but you can't have the soup without the crusty bread. So I'm going to go ahead and another prep, so when I get home this afternoon, I can just go bam, 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 is I want to go ahead and have things measured out. I'm going to measure out my bread flour. I'm going to measure out my salt. I won't get out my yeast until right before we make it. So I need 3½ cups of bread flour. So hopefully I have enough. So there's a half. There's one. Hang on, you don't want to look at my hand. A half. 2. A half. 3. And a half. So here is my bread flour measured out. Okay, so I'm going to actually leave this close by because we will use a little sprinkle of it here and there. But let me go ahead and I'm going to measure out salt now. All right, everybody, here is about the way I want the onions right now and celery. I'm just going to cut the burner off, leave them in here. A lot of times on the other videos where I've made it, I've taken the celery and onions out. But I think since I'm going to be rushing today, we will not do that. So, with that being said, I'm going to cut the oven off, put the lid on this. Cut the stove off, not oven, stove. And put the lid on this, and it'll be ready when we get home. Now, I've been thinking about the bread. Okay, everyone, I am fixing to head to the church. So I waited till the very last second to put our bread together. I'm going to get some hot water going. I need it to get warm. Takes it just a little while in my kitchen to get warm. I'm going to grab my yeast and I'll meet you back right here. All right, I've measured out about 13 ounces of warm water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in about 2 teaspoons, 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons of yeast. Now, I get asked all the time, what kind of yeast am I using? I use whichever one I grab. I use them interchangeably. Whoops. I think this is instant yeast. Whichever one I grab, I use them interchangeably. I don't find that it matters really. Okay, so I'm going to kind of stir that in over here on one side. I've kind of put it all on this side and I'm kind of stirring it in. And I've got my salt over here. I'm going to put it in over on this side. And do the same thing kind of over there. The reason I'm doing that is salt sometimes, yeast they don't like each other sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I am actually stirring with the handle of this spoon. And we're going to start with a little bit of this water. I'm going to save some. and I'm just using the handle. And we're just going to pull this together until it creates a shaggy dough. And we're going to pray I don't get anything on me because I am going to church to a funeral service. And just be ready to get more water if you should need it. A lot of times with bread making, it depends on your day. We have not had rain in days here, so I may need a little extra water because bread and flour is super sensitive to the humidity that's in the air. Well, like I said, we are super duper dry, plus I've had my heat on, so that makes it even drier. So I may actually have to get some more water, and that's totally fine. I am going to get a little bit more. And I kind of, when I pour a little extra in, I pour it where the dry areas are, just to kind of pick it up off the bowl. Okay, it's coming together pretty shaggy like, but I'm going to add just a little bit more. And you know what? When it comes to bread, if you get it too moist, you can always add more flour. All right, so there we go. There is what it should look like. Just a good shaggy dough. Now, I'm hoping it doesn't overproof. And what I mean by overproof is I hope I don't let it rise too long. There is a happy spot. So I'm going to let this, my recipe is normally an hour and a half. And I also normally, I'm going to turn the light on in my oven, but usually I already have that light on and have it kind of ready, but I don't, and I do that on purpose because I don't want it to overproof. I have no idea how long I'll be gone, so I am going to stick this bowl in my oven. I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven light on. That will provide a little bit of warmth, but I didn't have it on ahead of time, so there's not a pre-warmth in there, if you know what I'm saying. I hope this is making sense, but we're going to stick this in there. I'll show you what we do when we come back. When we come back, I may get this going and started, and then let me tell you what I'm going to do. This girl is going to put on her pajamas. She is going to finish the soup with you guys in her pajamas, probably. Bryant will die, but that's okay, because this is family night. This is pumpkin carving night. It is a relaxed night in my jammies. So I'm going to tell the boys to come in theirs, and so yeah. But we'll just see when I put them on when I get back. But let's get this in the oven and let it hang out till I get home. I'll see you when I get back. Hey everyone, well I am home and I just got the bread out of the oven. Look at how it rose. It's beautiful. It's nice and toasty warm. Let me grab a spoon again because we're going to deflate it. We're going to turn it around. So let me grab a spoon. I'll be right back. All right, so what I've done here is I'm doing this in my cast iron skillet, so I've greased it up really well. You can do this in a Dutch oven or any kind of pan. It's good to have it high on the sides. It helps it rise, but use whatever you have. So I'm going to take, oh, and I didn't tell you guys this, and I didn't show it to you, but I did cover this up when I stuck it in my oven that was completely off. It just had the light on inside. So I'm just going to take this and kind of pull it around. We're deflating it a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to dust a little bit of this bread flour around the sides. And we're going to just kind of roll it. I got this recipe from oh goodness, I think his name was Ken something. And I think he would say we're gonna roll to coat. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna sprinkle a little bit of Italian seasoning all over it. And I'm gonna just flop it right in there. We're gonna powder a little bit on top. There we go. And I kind of want to do just a little bit of pinch of salt. Okay, so we're going to let this rise. I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven. I'm going to set this over there on the oven. While it's preheating, we're going to let it rise for another 30 minutes or so, and we're going to get the soup started. All right, so don't look behind me. It's a mess. But let's go ahead while the bread is hanging out over here. It's gonna rise. I'm getting my oven preheated to 400, at least 400. What do I have it on? I'm gonna go on up to 425. And I've lost my butter. What we're gonna do here with the soup is I normally take my onions and celery out, but we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and get the burner going. And we're gonna melt this right in there with the onions and celery. I think I said peppers while ago, but it's onions and celery. And so as soon as that melts, we're gonna add some flour and make a roux. So I'm gonna get some other stuff I need. I'll be back in just a second. All right, so our butter has melted there. And so I'm gonna add a half a cup of flour to that butter in there, and we are going to turn the stove, I'm saying the wrong things today. We're going to turn the stove up and cook this flour and make a nice roux, and we're going to let it get nice and kind of brown looking. So we're going to cook this for a little while. And like I said, I don't normally leave the onions and celery in, but we are today. So I'm just going to cook this till it cooks to a nice caramel brown color, or maybe a little bit lighter than caramel brown. But I'll bring you back when it gets to the color I like it. Okay, I want you to see that it's getting, a lighter brown in there. It's not quite as white as it was. So I think we're good. I've cooked it a pretty good while. I think we're really good there. So I'm going to add in 4 cups of chicken broth. 4 cups of chicken broth going in. And I'm going to kind of bring it up to a little bit of a boil. And then we're going to turn it down. And I'm going to let it just kind of simmer and cook for about 20 minutes. During that time, I'll go change clothes, clean the kitchen, pick up a little bit. But I want it to come back up to a slight boil. So I'm going to leave it alone for just a minute. And then we will we'll turn it down, and I'll put the lid on it and just let it kind of hang out for a while. All right, everybody, it's nice and thick. So I've just turned the burner to low. I'm going to put the lid on it, and we're just going to let it simmer away for about 20 minutes, and then we'll come and add the next ingredient. This is so easy. You're not going to believe how easy this soup is. Okay, I'm in my jammies now. I feel so much better. Let's go ahead. I'm going to tell you what the recipe calls for. I don't have exactly everything it calls for a quart of half and half. I have a little bit less than a quart, so I'm going to finish the quart off with some heavy cream. And then it also calls for a cup of milk. So I want you to see our thick roux here. And so we're going to go in with what amount of half and half I have. And we're going to finish it off with some heavy cream. And then I'll grab some whole milk. All right, let me go grab some milk. I'll be right back. All right, let's add some milk. All right. And I just eyeballed that. The recipe will be in the description. I'm going to turn the burner back on. I'm going to turn it on kind of medium-low. But what we're going to add in now is our broccoli. And if I had taken the onion and celery out originally, this would be when I put it back in. Now let me tell you, on your broccoli, you might want to check your bags to be sure, there's a brown piece, that you don't have any big chunks. These are small, but some bags are huge, and I've actually had to go in and dig them out to cut them up into smaller pieces. I like smaller sections of broccoli. And I'm actually going to put 2 of these bags in. Let me tell you how many ounces they are. Well, I don't know how many ounces. It looks like 12 ounces. So I'm putting in 2 of those. And like I said, these are in small pieces. That looks like a leaf or a stem. I'm going to grab that out. All right. So I've got the burner on. We're cranking it up. We're going to get this heated back up. I'm going to change my whisk to back to my wooden spatula. And once this comes to temperature, we're going to let it cook for about 20 minutes. I may need to add some more milk or whatnot, but while this is coming up to temperature, while it's cooking for about 20 to 30 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and stick the bread in, and I'm going to cut up some Velveeta cheese. All right, everybody, here's where we're going to season it up with a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm going to hold on to the right to add more milk if I need to. I actually have out some our leftover soup from last night over here. It is the creamy chicken chili. All right, so I'm going to get that stirred in. And I'm going to go ahead and drop some of the cheese. That way it can be melting. Now you can use any combination of cheese that you like. Let me get this turned up where I can talk to you. I want to see you face to face. You can make this is where you make it you, but I am using, yes, shredded cheese, bag shredded cheese. I have been at a funeral. Yeah, this is what I'm using. And I use the sharp cheddar. And I'm putting about 2 cups in. 2 cups in. And I'm using about a pound of Velveeta cheese. Now, you can use pepper jack. You can use whatever. Do I know that this is processed cheese? Yes, I do. It doesn't bother me. I don't worry about it. We have this soup maybe twice a year, and so I can have processed cheese. So the Velveeta, I would not leave the Velveeta out. It just does something special to this soup. It gives it a creaminess that just you're not going to get from anything else. But with that being said, this is where you can put what kind of cheese, whatever cheese you like. I put 2 cups of the shredded and about a pound of the Velveeta. So now it's all in the soup. Now we just need to let it melt and keep it stirred. So I'm going to put the lid on, and then we'll come back when everything's melted and stirred up. We'll give it a taste, see if we need to add or do anything. And it's going to be so good. So I just thought I would show you that this is real life. This is what happens when your grandbabies come in and you want to go sit down with the family and you leave your soup unattended. This is what can happen. Real life. Real life. Yes, it overflowed everywhere. But it didn't scorch on the bottom. So look, I have a cheesy mess to clean up. But that's okay. We're going to have a delicious soup and good family time. So there is our broccoli and cheese soup. I'm fixing to get the bread out and we're going to have a lovely, lovely dinner. All right, Crusty Bread is out of the oven. Crunchy on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside.
Lord, thank you for this food. Bless it to our bodies tonight. Thank you for family and the importance of family. We pray you be with the family that we did the funeral for today. May they find peace in what they're searching for. Most importantly, may we continue to put you first in our lives. Thank you for this food in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, it's family night.
It's family.
So can we do that? So can we do that game?
Well, we're doing pumpkins tonight.
We're doing pumpkins tonight. I'm watching a Halloween movie.
You said
All right, what's everybody think of the broccoli and cheese soup?
Look how thick it is. Look how beautiful that is. Piece of cheese right there. I mean, cheese and bread right there.
Oh, he dips his bread. He dunks his bread in there.
I'm a dunker. Okay.
Caroline, what you think?
Perfect.
Jamie?
Delicious.
Jess.
Judabug, what do you think? We're coming to Jess. She's the star of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna mix it.
Oh, you're going to mix it? Oh, you're putting your bread
I
in?
haven't even tried it yet.
Levi,
You haven't tried it yet?
Honey.
So I'm gonna just
Blow on it. You're eating bubble soup.
You're eating
Your soup's
mine.
Over here. Your soup's over here between me and Dad.
There's like bread.
Blow on it. A little hot. Okay.
That's right here. Delicious.
Delicious. All right, Jess. This is what you asked for.
I've been waiting for this all month long, and it is absolutely
You want
delicious.
some pepper?
Perfect, everything.
Have you had some yet?
Right here.
All right, and Isaac is, I don't know which one did you get. You get, look at his mouth.
It's good. What is there different what?
There's the creamy chicken chilies in there
Oh
too.
no, I got the broccoli and cheese soup.
Okay. All right, Levi, what do you think?
So good.
So good. So good. So good. What y'all fixing to do?
I'm a podcast. I'll kill this car. Hey, Isaac, we need that.
Why are you doing a gingerbread man for Halloween?
I'm going to make it a ghost. I'm going to cut the little divot out of his leg and make it a,
I got you.
or Papa is, I'm not.
You need this?
Guys, want me to get you up?
That worked pretty good, didn't it?
Is there bumps on it?
Yeah, you got the spooky pumpkin.
Don't bust your pumpkin.
He's been easy with it.
Oh, you're talking about me doing this.
Can you do mine?
Is a problem.
Can you do mine?
It didn't work.
Can you do mine?
I think that's a great idea.
All right. So you want me to make it a ghost, Mom?
Yep.
Where's my knife?
Oh, right here.
All right, so show me what you want to do.
Hard. There you go. Get it.
Let Daddy get the excess. Oh, look at him go. Oh, Jamie, you about got your finger mashed.
Yeah, that's in the rubber.
All right, Bryant and Isaac are getting the seeds ready so we can roast seeds.
Tedious.
Tedious work, tedious work.
Favorite part.
How's it coming, Jess?
I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just hitting stuff. I think we're gonna start us. Oh man, hit too hard. Hit the middle part so it goes through. Harder. Harder. Hit it.
Harder, Levi. Harder. Hit it harder.
Hit harder. Do it harder again. Do those big hits like we were doing. Big hit. It's a big hit.
I did.
Alright, let me do one big hit and then you can do the bit. Trying to get a big hit.
Go ahead.
Alright, okay, you can do that now. Pull, pull.
Alexa, stop.
Can we throw these in the trash?
All right, let's check it out. Here we go.
Button.
Oh, they smell good.
Button.
Look at there.
Roasted pumpkin
Golden
seeds.
roasted
Can I
toasted.
It's hot, buddy.
Top though. Here,
So good.
here's a couple. Hold your hand down.
Stop, babe.
No. Here, let me try them. There we go. All right, try some. Huh? Try some. Perfect. Delicious. Perfect.
Just salt, right? And roasted.
And a little ranch dressing.
Oh, a little ranch dressing. Whoa.
Whoa.
We got a mess to clean up tonight.
How's that, bud?
It's like popcorn, isn't it?
Good? High five.
On this family night of broccoli and cheese soup, roasted pumpkin seeds, and pumpkin carving, Isaac has something he wants me to try. On camera. It's called mochi. Mochi. It feels weird. What is that? Like a marshmallow.
Like, you can get those frozen too. I like it when it's frozen. I don't like it when it's like that.
Isaac likes weird stuff.
Here, Brian, you try it.
I had to eat pumpkin seeds to get that out. Okay, so they've given me something else to try. It feels like styrofoam. What is the name of it?
I just ate it all.
Sour satellite wafers.
It's sour something.
I just ate it all. I just ate
Is it
I
gonna?
don't know how you eat it. I think you put the whole thing in your mouth.
like a wafer
I just ate this whole. I just ate this.
Eat it ladylike.
Brian said, "Eat it, ladylike."
Well, you showed them the camera in your mouth.
I swallowed it.
Did you want to try one, Judah?
No, I'm worthy.
This is terrible. This looks like communion crackers with
Communion crackers.
Alright, ready? You want to try one?
So I hope you enjoyed going along with us for our family night. We had a great time. That soup is so good. So good. And it's really, really very easy. And like I said, you can make it your own and use whatever cheese you prefer. I don't mind processed cheese once in a while, and that was one time I just did not mind it one bit, and I think it makes that soup. It really makes the broccoli and cheese soup. But you can use, if you don't like using it, you can use whatever cheeses you prefer. You'll just have to figure out the ratio and keep adding until you feel like you've got it cheesy enough. So, all right, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for joining us. Hey, if you've made it to the very end and you haven't subscribed, I sure wish you would do so. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I do not have a membership channel. I am just free for all. So if you would hit subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around. I love you guys. Remember, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. Bye, y'all.